What if God is not only something we believe in, but also something we shape, or perhaps even discover waiting beyond us? This video explores how culture, psychology, and philosophy reveal the deeper truth about belief in God and why understanding it matters for your own search for meaning. Welcome to Cosmic Access, where we explore life's deepest questions with clarity and insight. In today's video, we ask, do we create God or discover Him? Together, we'll journey through psychology, culture, and philosophy to uncover powerful perspectives. If you find this discussion meaningful, please like the video, share it with others, and subscribe to Cosmic Access for more thought-provoking content every week. From childhood onward, people in American society are often surrounded by questions of purpose, why we are here, what happens after death, and whether life holds an ultimate meaning. Psychologists such as Viktor Frankl have argued that the search for meaning is not just a luxury, but a fundamental human drive, just as essential as food or shelter. When individuals face suffering, loss, or uncertainty, the imagination of the divine frequently emerges as a way to frame these experiences within a larger story. In a culture that prizes individuality, yet struggles with loneliness and fragmentation, belief in God often becomes a unifying thread that gives people a sense of belonging and hope. Sociologists point out that even in a highly secular age, Americans still create personal narratives of spirituality, blending traditional religion with modern values of freedom and self-expression. The idea of God, in this sense, can be seen as a mirror of human needs, a figure who represents justice when society feels unfair, or love when human relationships disappoint. By imagining the divine, people construct a moral compass and emotional anchor that responds to the challenges of contemporary life, allowing them to cope with complexity while searching for higher purpose. Across history, the way societies picture God has often reflected their own cultural values and struggles. In America, where freedom and democracy are central ideals, many people imagine God as a protector of individual rights and fairness. Anthropologists note that communities tend to shape their image of the divine according to their social structures. Tribal cultures emphasize gods of kinship. Monarchies highlight God of authority, and modern democracies often stress God's justice and equality. Psychologist William James observed that religion adapts itself to the emotional needs of its time, becoming flexible enough to survive cultural shifts. In contemporary America, that's going to be seen in the rise of personalized spirituality, where individuals mix elements of Christianity, mindfulness, and even science-inspired metaphors of the universe. Religion here functions as a cultural creation, molded by music, politics, social movements, and the constant dialogue between tradition and innovation. For many, God becomes a voice for social justice, echoing the civil rights movement where churches once stood at the center of change. This shows how the divine, while claimed to be eternal, often wears the garments of the society that admissions him, becoming the reflection of its hopes, fears, and collective identity.
Yet even while religion can be shaped by culture, many in American society feel that the idea of God cannot be reduced to mere social invention, because human beings seem wired to look for something greater than themselves. Psychologist Abraham Maslow described this as the peak experience, moments when individuals sense awe, unity, or transcendence that lift them beyond ordinary life. Such experiences occur in diverse settings, standing before the vastness of the Grand Canyon, listening to music that stirs the soul, or feeling a profound connection during meditation or prayer. These moments lead many to believe they are not simply projecting ideas, but encountering a reality that exists beyond human construction. Even in a largely secular context, surveys show that Americans frequently speak of feeling spiritual but not religious, signaling a longing for the transcendent without rigid institutional boundaries. Philosophers point out that this persistent quest suggests that human consciousness may be tuned to perceive dimensions of reality that science alone cannot measure. In this way, the search for transcendence represents a bridge between inner psychological needs and the possibility of discovering an objective presence that lies beyond culture, pointing towards something enduring and universal. For those who seek more than personal experience, the question often shifts to whether God can be approached through reason and evidence. In American intellectual life, debates between science and faith remain central. From the classrooms where evolution and creationism are discussed, to the laboratories where cosmologists study the origins of the universe. Philosophers like Alvin Plantinga argue that belief in God can be rational, comparing it to trusting in memory or moral intuition, things we rely on without absolute proof. At the same time, scientists such as Carl Sagan emphasize that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, pushing believers to present more than subjective feelings. Psychologists note that many people reconcile these perspectives by seeing science as explaining the how of existence, while philosophy and religion seek the why. In contemporary America, this dual approach is evident in movements like intelligent design on one side and secular humanism on the other, both trying to ground life's meaning in reasoned arguments. The ongoing dialogue reflects a society that values both empirical inquiry and philosophical depth, suggesting that the search for God through reason is less about arriving at final proof and more about engaging deeply with the mystery of existence.
In the end, the tension between creating God through culture and discovering Him through transcendence or reason reveals as much about humanity as it does about divinity. Psychologists such as Carl Jung suggested that the idea of God often reflects the deepest structures of the human psyche, embodying our need for wholeness and balance. At the same time, sociologists observed that belief systems mirror the aspirations and anxieties of a given era, showing how communities define morality, justice, and purpose. In American society today, where technology has expanded horizons, yet also intensified isolation, belief in God often acts as both a personal compass and a collective story that keeps people connected to something larger. Whether understood as an invention shaped by history, or a discovery pointing to an ultimate reality, the persistence of God in human thought underscores the truth that people cannot live by facts alone. They require meaning, direction, and hope. The question itself, creation or discovery, may not demand the final answer, but it invites us to reflect on who we are, what we value, and how we wish to live. Thank you for watching this video, and if you found these reflections meaningful, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more thoughtful discussions.